Hey, wrestling fans, this is Rick Blade telling you to tune in for BJ, DG, the best wrestling talk on YouTube.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. BJ here. DG over there.
What up? What up? How's it going, everybody? Danger Ginger in the house. And below us, as always, our referee, Mr. Chef the Ref himself with his Fago. Whoop, whoop.
Cheers.
As always, sometimes Chef the Ref.
As always, sometimes appropriate. We had a heck of a week this week in wrestling, boys, didn't we?
Oh, God, did we ever? It's kind of crazy.
Still continuing. We still have more tonight.
Yeah, which we will get into AEW Revolution later with our picks and everything.
Nice tease.
But I say we start off begin talking about these title changes this week. Like, we saw 3 championships change hands across all of WWE's main shows this week. One of them,
it's like we're back in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, and definitely with one of them having full-on WrestleMania replications with it.
Big time. That's the one that happened on the first show of the week on Raw. We had the women's title being defended with Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. And we had, of course, Bianca Belair ringside. As the women's champion, or not women's champion, the number 1 contender after winning Elimination Chamber. And she absolutely had to make her presence felt, not necessarily directly, but couldn't help but being distracted by her was Rhea Ripley. And yeah, that led to everything in this match. So Danger Ginger, why don't you start us off with just what were your expectations coming into this match? Did you actually think that Io Sky was pulling this off to become the women's champion this close to WrestleMania?
I mean, absolutely not. It was a complete surprise to see one of the top titles change hands. But then go back real quick. These two had only had 2 other one-on-one matches in their WWE careers. One being at the Mae Young Classic, which Io beat Rhea then. Once in NXT, Io beat Rhea then. It really felt like building up Rhea a little bit, that they stressed out on commentary that Rhea Ripley has never beaten Io Sky one-on-one. And that trend has now continued. Congratulations to Io Sky in a very crucial moment, booking her ticket to WrestleMania, and becoming the first woman to also hold both new top women's championships in the company.
That is true. Nice point there.
And I also will say that I felt like the match should have been thrown out once Bianca Belair got up and pushed Rhea. But at the same time, it was something different to see a referee like, all right, look, it wasn't a punch thrown. It was just a push. I'm not ending the match on that. So, and then it falls on Rhea because she had to sit there, see you at WrestleMania, which led to the counter and her losing that championship. And is now we're looking at 3 baby faces essentially in a championship match, which
potentially.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be that way by WrestleMania.
No, neither do I. But does this lead to something where maybe Rhea's the one to now turn heel?
BJ, do you think it's more likely Rhea turns heel, or do you think Io turns back to her old ways, or do we think that Bianca tries a different character and persona and goes a little darker heelish route?
I don't know. Bianca seems to be like away from anything right now that might turn her heel. She seems to have cleared all that up. I know she'll still be involved, but I don't know. Does she maintain her character and stay the course of that story while simultaneously preparing for Mania? Or, does she turn heel? And I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know what we're gonna see. Yeah, I could see it happening either way.
It's just hard to picture, even with the idea that, like, me asking about could Rhea turn heel. It's do you see the fans turning on any of them? Maybe outside Bianca, and that's my whole thing. Like, but from what we saw Friday night with the whole Naomi thing and her admitting to Bianca, yeah, she did it. Bianca let Jade go after her.
Oh yeah,
She
yeah, that happened on Friday night.
Yeah, she's kind of spaced her way out to have her own story now. And anywheres would it make sense for her and Naomi to both turn heel on separate occasions and still not be helping each other?
Not necessarily, but
Right.
you know, if we're gonna go into backstage a little bit, we do know that Montez Ford, Bianca's husband, has turned heel recently. So we know how often WWE loves to keep those couples on the same side of babyface and heel. So there's a possibility there that we do in fact see Bianca turning. But to your point, we have seen Io get booed by the fans before. She knows how to get it done. She could get it done again very easily.
I feel like Bianca, like there's a good chance that she could be faced for like another like 5 years, but at the same time, she could turn heel in a second.
Yeah.
Rhea, she's too over right now to go heel, and I think if she went heel, like people just wouldn't receive it and would just be like, no, just like the Becky Lynch heel turn where they were cheering
Fans
for
just
her
don't
when she
have
tried to cut a heel promo.
I mean, I feel like even with a Bianca heel turn, it would almost become like MJF, or even Adam Page in AEW. They were both portrayed as major heels, and they were still cheered. And just as an example, like maybe it would just be, hey, she's a bad guy, but it's the fans' decision who they do or do not cheer. It's not like, and it's always been like that. There's always been certain heels that have gotten cheered no matter what throughout history.
There's over heels and there's hated heels.
Yeah.
You know?
Ric Flair.
Same with faces. There's over faces and there's hated faces.
Yeah. John Cena.
I think he'll be an over heel.
I mean,
yes.
I am interested though to see where this story does go, because I don't think they pull Rhea Ripley out of that match without a reason and another way for her to go. Which again, as I have said, but as I have said in the past, I am all for somehow this transitioning into an intergender match between her and Dominic Mysterio. All right, especially considering they just added intergender matches to 2K25. You literally have built-in advertising there for it.
That.
And I'm not saying it's going to happen by any means. I think the triple threat is more logical to happen. But I am all for continuing to will that into the universe, because I think that's something that fans actually want to see.
I like how you think.
Dom, Rhea, Io, Bianca, fatal 4-way for the title.
Book it. Let's go.
So you think Dom's going to go full Andy Kaufman?
Yep, and Dominic will become the new WWE World Women's Champion somehow. He will be the next Harvey Whippleman. But yeah, and then I guess we'll go to NXT next now.
Another huge title swap there.
Which I'm going to say this: 2 out of these 3 title change matches also are match of the week candidates for me.
Yes.
And Shawn Spears and Tony D'Angelo not only had a great match, but there was great storytelling throughout that entire match on NXT this week.
This was a story of faction warfare at its core. This is coming to a head, and it's going to be coming to a head soon. This North American title being swapped around between them, that's just the symbol of the figureheads of the factions going against each other and who is at the top and who is in control right now. So right now, we've got Shawn Spears and his family over Tony D'Angelo and his. So it's currently looking pretty good. I like how this story is progressing. I like that Shawn Spears actually was able to take that North American belt away. It adds another new layer of intrigue onto this feud and gives the fans something to actually be invested in with it now.
Yeah, what a surprising win.
And you know, it was a good match. And, you know, like, I think Tony D'Angelo is going to be meant for bigger things. Like, you can move him on to the NXT championship picture, especially if Oba retains against Moose in MSG. And because considering Tony D'Angelo is one of, two people who have actually defeated Oba?
Something like
If
that.
not
Yeah,
the
it's
only
not many.
person that, like, Oba has that almost like Brock Lesnar Goldberg feel. Like, you to go over on him is a big deal, even given the fact of where he is currently in his career.
Yeah. Obafemi, even for how young and inexperienced he
yes,
is, he's a beast.
Rasco, thank you. Ringside Renaissance, another great show. You guys should go check them out. They have really good views and opinions on wrestling stuff. Just to put those guys over real quick. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's all good. So as far as where this feud is going, obviously we've got Stand and Deliver coming up, WrestleMania weekend. Do we think that this whole thing plays out for that long between these two families? Do we think there's enough story to work with there, or do we think that Tony D moves on before that? The Spears North American title, someone else is coming after that? What do we think is going to happen here?
I think we see a rematch at some point, possibly, maybe as soon as Roadblock. But I think with how that match ended, which was very beautifully crafted from the spotting the last couple minutes of that match, for him getting knocked off that ring apron accidentally by Stacks, falling onto that chair outside the ring, doing more damage to his back than what had already been done. And then you get to the finish of him going for the finish and his back just giving out on him. And Shawn Spears picking up the win. It really showed his toughness, and which is something in that situation you want to get over.
Yeah.
It's going over in a loss still. We see Shawn Spears now, whose humble beginnings started as being super kicked by Shawn Michaels as Stan.
Oh, Stan. I don't know if it's controversial, but it was funny.
But they really, that whole match, the way they scripted it out was great. And I do think maybe with the back injury, you leave him written off for a couple weeks, let him feud with Stacks, build back up to the D'Angelo return, and then set up the match at Stand and Deliver. Because Tony D'Angelo and the family, it's one group I could see getting a call up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now you think they pull them all up as a group? You think they're all ready to go up there already?
I mean, we've seen it in the past where maybe they get pulled up, but the lower members could still appear in NXT. They could still go down there and have matches if they're not competing on the main roster or on main event. Like, they'll still get their ring time, but most of it's focused on Stacks and D'Angelo, as it should be.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to SmackDown, and we've got this third title match that we had over here. So, DG, what were you expecting going into this? Were you expecting a third title change this week, or did you think, there's no way this is happening?
If it was any of the matches, I would legitimately think a title was going to change hands. It was with Shinsuke, because they haven't really done much with him as champion, which is disappointing. I'm a huge fan of his. And I don't know if it's just lack of crowd response because he's not out there all the time, and you have everybody else talking about the championship but him. But going into WrestleMania, putting the belt on LA Knight, if it's going to be defended there, is not a bad thing. LA Knight is still over with these crowds. I'm not going to say he's as hot as he was a year ago, but he's still over. He's not. Jey Uso has that spot at the moment.
Yeah. So, BJ, now with LA Knight taking the belt again off of Shinsuke, do you think this rivalry still has legs, or do you think it's done? Do you think Shinsuke comes back at LA Knight again before WrestleMania?
This kind of feels like a transitional thing.
Mm-hmm.
transitioning to what, I don't know. Like I don't know who LA Knight would feud with after this, but it definitely feels like a transitional thing. I don't think this feud continues. I don't know. Be curious to see what happens to either of them afterwards. But just my first impression.
Now, is Ludwig Kaiser on SmackDown or is he on Raw?
He's on Raw.
He's on Raw. Okay. So
I-
They've got him in the Intercontinental program right now. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's
thinking-
looking like it's going to be a multi-man match at WrestleMania at some point.
Yeah. So who do we think are some potential matchups at WrestleMania for LA Knight for the U.S. title if it's not going to be Shinsuke?
No, I got to look up and down the roster real quick. Hold on.
That's fair. Yeah, I kind of sprung
Fortunately,
that
I have it
question on you.
bookmarked.
Yeah, who
I
is on
could-
the SmackDown roster?
I could see maybe Solo.
You think so? How about Tama Tonga's not doing much. Do we have him because Solo and Jacob, that seems to be something happening there. So or Jimmy Uso maybe?
Yeah, I could see. I could see that as well.
Andrade, Mello.
Could we
Mello's a
see?
good one.
Could we see an Aleister Black return and we get Aleister Black versus
Ooh.
LA Knight?
That would be nice.
Because
That would be nice.
Zelina Vega is on SmackDown. They are married. WWE typically keeps couples together. But I would really love to see him actually be on Raw and take the leadership role from Finn of the Judgment Day. And put
That
him
would be
in
an interesting twist.
because I think he was one of the names Edge originally wanted as part of the group. And it would be very interesting to see how that would transpire on
work
that
itself
side
out.
of the roster.
Yeah, the only other possibilities I saw on the roster were like R-Truth. And I don't see that happening.
I'm all
anytime
for it.
soon.
Let's go.
I'm for our truth.
Oh, give
getting
him all the
belt.
gold. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I
only-
say bring
he's
back
only
to
the most
24/7.
Hey, all I'm saying is R-Truth is the most decorated champion in WWE history, and that is a fact.
I say we bring back the 24/7 belt or the hardcore belt or whatever we want to call it this time, and we get our truth to 100 titles.
I said, you know what? In all honesty, if I don't think WWE needs another championship, I think they're kind of, unless it's going to be for something like Evolve or like their WWE ID championships now, that they're going to use on the Indies, which I think is an excellent idea. If you were to bring one title, any title back in, my opinion should be a television title defended across all brands and only on TV, like, or the Netflix, like Raw, SmackDown, NXT. It should never touch the PLE level because now that's the only way I think.
But then you're holding it back.
No, it's a television title. It's not a PLE championship.
Yeah, but
PLEs
that's
are
never
on
meant
television.
anything.
There was a time in WCW and the NWA where the TV title was only defended on TV because it was meant to be a weekly championship, to always be seen, to always have a title match booked, while you still had your actual higher up mid card championships, your cruiserweight championship, your world championship, and whatnot, to actually have those main spots because the TV title was
but that
never. There's
that was like 40 years
occasions.
ago. Like,
No,
things have changed a lot since then.
have they though? Maybe cinematically they have, but going back to something like that wouldn't be a horrible thing because then you're giving people a reason to tune in to see that championship. That could be on any of the other three shows. You just won't see it on a PLE. And if you do, you make the feud you make it worth it being on there. So that
I feel
it
like
is a
that's why
draw.
limit it like that.
You mean like making a championship 24/7 and making a mockery of any other championship beforehand?
Hey, it worked for the hardcore belt.
I'm not saying it didn't work, but that's something you would never need to see on a PLE. Because
no, but if it happens, it happens. Like, I don't mind seeing that on a PLE because it's just a quick run in that doesn't really mean anything, usually.
But just the idea of having a draw for something for TV isn't a bad thing.
I'm not
It's
saying that
not a
TV
bad
title
thing.
holder can't appear on the PLE.
Yeah, but the title's only defended on TV. The
I-
title, unless you have a heated feud for that championship that makes it worth, because you think about it, in WWE, most PLEs have how many matches? 5. You're not going to take a bottom tier championship meant to build up the bottom part of the roster and hop it up there for no reason. Or you defend it on the pre-show. You bring back a pre-show match and it gets defended there, so it's not necessarily actually on the main card of the PLE.
But it's on the PLE itself. But
Yes.
on the TV part of the PLE.
Yes.
I like that idea.
Another belt is unnecessary anyway.
You mean like the Crown Jewel Championship, right? That gets defended once a year.
And it stays in Saudi
was-
Arabia.
Yeah, you don't even.
That
Yeah, you
was
just
just-
get a ring. You just get a championship ring.
That was just to shut someone up. That's they're not serious about that. They're like, hey guys, yeah, look at this. Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah,
All right, so we got a fan belt to defend.
yeah, you know.
But I'm just saying, like, it gives you a different idea of storytelling to go by and gives fan investment to make sure that they're tuning into the shows to see that.
I mean, you could just as easily do like, and they did a good job with this back in the day, like with John Cena's weekly open challenge for the U.S. title. Like they could just do something along those lines. I mean, you know.
I mean, you could make the TV title an open challenge championship. There is never actually like something to it, you know, like, hey, you know, this title gets defended every week on TV across one of the 3 shows. You know, you'll see it once, you know, it'll be advertised ahead of time. So you know that the title will be on that show that week. It doesn't mean to say that person. Yeah. You know, so it's something where it's just like, hey, you know, you could leave the title on him for 3-4 months going through it. And then, you know, it goes to the next person, you know, or like, hold on, the Speed Championships.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't tell you who even is any of the Speed Champions because WWE doesn't even tell us.
They'll I heard was Candice LeRae, and Ricochet.
I know this. No. Dragon Lee is the Speed champion
for the men, and then Candice LeRae for the women. Still,
I think so. I have the roster up. Hold on. Where is the Speed champion? Oh, there it is. Yeah, Dragon Lee, and see if it's Candice.
Because I know she's the first one to hold it, but I don't know if it's changed hands since then.
Yeah, it's still Candice.
Okay. And look, we had to look it up to confirm that.
I don't even
I'm
know.
just impressed that I guessed Candice and I was right.
You know, our Twitter championships.
We got in the comments here.
Pivot and go back to LA versus Drew for the U.S. title at Mania, or even a 3-way.
I wouldn't hate that.
I would not hate that at all.
I'd be fine with the 3-way there too. We've obviously got Drew and Priest have been meant to build up this rivalry since the Royal Rumble when LA Knight got in between everything. So I think this kind of actually dovetails in perfectly.
Take an accident and build it. Just taking that little accident and building it into something, that would be interesting.
Kind of works.
But then I'm looking at the potential that would be another triple threat match on top of another one we might have, with Punk, Rollins, and Roman.
Triple threats.
Which I am still against CM Punk having anything to do with that match, which is why I'm glad Monday night from Madison Square Garden. I think they said Madison Square Garden for Raw, right? This week coming up. That it's going to be Punk and Rollins in a steel cage, which hopefully blows off this feud. And we get a Roman return, and we start going towards Seth and Roman.
Yep. And then what do we have Punk doing at Mania at that point?
Him and Logan Paul.
Perfect. Have Punk beat the crap out of that Punk.
I'm all for it.
Closing for that slap.
like it does seem like they've been planting the seeds for it. And if you're going to do that, you're either doing it in one of three places: in Riyadh, SummerSlam, or WrestleMania. You're not doing it on any other card. So,
Yeah, I think this could work as a 3-man. You've got the Priest and McIntyre are already penciled in, and if you want LA Knight to just join that, I think the US belt's a fine addition there.
yeah, it gives it a little bit of extra build and
Extra
hype
oomph.
for the match. Yeah.
But I feel
mean-
like it is a downgrade for Priest and McIntyre, previous world champions on their brands.
I mean, you've had that
Yeah.
happen before.
I
Oh,
mean-
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it-
definitely.
and then they
I
can
mean, it's-
elevate the belt.
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a downgrade from either of them, but LA Knight hasn't necessarily been pulled into that feud yet, outside of one incident at the Rumble, which I think they kind of kayfabed after it happened a little
Right.
bit. Like they took something real, blurred the lines, and that's where we are now.
Same
Yeah,
thing
they
that
worked it
happened
into
with
the
fucking
feud.
McIntyre.
Shot it
Look
into
at
a
how
win.
that whole thing wound up.
Also, just real quick from SmackDown this week, Chelsea Green and the Meechin women's U.S. title match, and her coming out in the Cactus Jack style attire. Oh, that
Love
popped
Awesome.
me good. And then
Loved
Alba
it.
Fire with Isla Dawn being
Secret
released has
Service.
lined up. Yeah. I'm interested
Love
to
the
see
name of
where
it.
that goes.
Love the name of it, the Secret Service. It's fantastic. Nice little play there. So
And then,
I'm disappointed that they couldn't keep Isla Dawn around to, join this group as well. But hey, I'm happy Alba Fire's got something to do now.
it's because she was a real ginger.
That's racist.
Anyway, moving on before we get off.
And we
the rails here
also
any
had
further.
Cody doing a little bit of talking on SmackDown as
Yeah,
well.
before we got into that, I was going to bring up real quick. Congratulations to Lex Luger. He will be
Hall of
inducted
Fame
into the
inductee.
2025 Hall of Fame. Long overdue, much deserved.
The narcissist, of course, the narcissist will tell you himself he belongs in there.
I mean, he would have been happy either way, but it was cool how they showed the video this week of Cody telling him while doing the DDP yoga thing. It's a really big moment for him, long overdue. I'm not going to go too much into the history of possibly why he wasn't inducted, because I don't want to make it about that, but to say none the least, he might not have been the greatest in the WWF. He had a couple big matches, but a lot of his legacy is in WCW, and then Hogan putting him over on Nitro and him winning the world title during the Monday Night Wars was a huge moment.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just looked at based on WWE alone or WWF back then, I don't think he gets in. He didn't
I
really
agree.
do much in WWE. His legacy is all in WCW. Like, he body slammed Yokozuna.
I mean, I agree with you, but a lot of that was transitional booking at the time, because I believe at that time we had Hogan on the way out. They were going to try to build him to be the new Hogan, and it was just something that wasn't connecting with the fans. But you go back and watch some of those matches; they're great matches. It was just that connection wasn't there. And if I go through anything, the narcissist version of him I thought was best, because I thought it fit somebody like him better. They just never got it right for him and his personality. His personality was more like something from WCW that we saw with him as the total package, and that was what fit best.
Yep. So congratulations to Lex Luger. And not only on the Hall of Fame induction, but standing up again as well. So that was impressive.
That DDP yoga does magic, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I think I might need to look into that for myself.
Just real quick, also, what did you guys think of the whole Bianca Belair and Naomi segment?
It's exactly what I expected it to be. Naomi crying her crocodile tears and being, I did it for you, Rock. I mean,
I'm sorry. I mean, Bianca.
Yeah. So, and yeah, Bianca goes up the ramp. Naomi obviously just, calls her a bitch. And that's just Bianca's
Oh,
like, okay, yeah, sure. Okay, that's it. Totally. I'm
th-
over it now. Jade's music hits. Jade comes out the ramp, looks at Bianca. Bianca just,
go.
okay, go ahead. Do what you got to do.
I'm out of
And
this now.
yep.
By the
Yep.
way, I got AEW Jade Cargill vibes when she
Oh,
came
yeah.
out at Elimination Chamber and then this week on SmackDown. Like, it
Oh,
really
yeah.
gave me
Back to
that
being that
vibe that,
bitch.
yes. And that I have been begging for that. Like, I don't forget the catering to the fans at the moment. If she's over, she's over. She's
Mhm.
over because she has that intensity, Like Dean
Yep.
Malenko never had to cater to fans and everybody loved him, heel or
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. No,
I just
Jade is there.
if you go back and actually pay attention to when Jade comes out at Elimination Chamber and you just pay attention to Bianca in the pod, she takes that little fur jacket thing off like she knows there's about to be a fight. Almost like she thought she would get attacked too. I just want to
Well,
put that
Well,
out
I
there.
think, but the way she was acting in the pod, I've watched it
I
from
mean,
all the
yeah.
angles that they
I
put
mean,
out there, and it looks to me like that. No, she's not waiting to get attacked by Jade. She's waiting to get in there
well,
so
it's
she can help Jade and Naomi beat the crap out of Liv, which was what she thinks is going to be happening. And when that doesn't happen, her whole demeanor shifts.
I mean,
And,
there's also a moment where they do have a glance with each other as well, which I could be reading too far into it, but
I
just
think you
trying to
are.
look. I mean, trying to look for those little things, right? Because
Yeah.
what if it is eventually revealed Bianca did have something to do with it, and that's part of her heel turn? And she's like, "Well, Naomi, I can't help you right now. I got more important things to worry about, like actually winning a championship and not teaming up with somebody because I had to take their partner out." Like heels don't have to get along either.
I think there comes a point though in the storytelling where you have to say, okay, that's enough twists. We have to. This has to be
gotta
it.
go
This has
at
to
this
be the
point
end
we're at
game here.
mainstream.
Yeah.
And I think we've hit that end game point here. Like this is it. It was Naomi the whole time. No more twists, no more turns. Bianca's on to the women's title. Jade and Naomi get their feud.
Which I
could go
expect
that
Jade to
way.
come out on top with all that. But it was just
Oh, of course.
this little other things that we could that I could see later on where we get that flip. Like, but probably past WrestleMania at that point where, that long-term storytelling thing, like, hey, look, do this. Nobody's going to get it now. But, 6 months from now, like The Rock coming out in Bad Blood and doing this.
Gotta love those retcon things that they put in there with The Rock too now.
I mean, if it works, right? But yeah, as you said, started going on too. Cody Rhodes' first time speaking since the John Cena heel turn.
Could only half hear himself because of that busted eardrum.
Yeah, thanks, Travis Scott, you bum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't wait for Bubba Ray to deliver that receipt personally.
Yeah, Stevie Richards wasn't pleased about it on his show this week.
Like if you don't know what you're doing, don't get involved like that. Point blank. Like this is.
I'm not jumping in the ring at any of the shows we go to and trying to lay a move on anybody. That'd be dumb.
Yeah. Or
pretend he's
Dusty
Rhodes or Dustin Rhodes, and and who was that? The New Order? What New Order? What am I? Dark Order. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretend he's Dustin Rhodes and you're the Dark Order.
But yeah, so we get this Cody promo this week. He talks about telling his daughter about what happened one day and having to kind of lie to her right now, because she's a kid. He brings up when we finally do see Cena, it'll probably be some well-crafted response, but no justification why. He puts over the fans, especially the Philly ones, from Money in the Bank a decade ago being there and that they cheered for him. And that they stuck with him even at WrestleMania last year. He throws out John Cena's catchphrase at him. What did you think total about this whole promo that he cut? BJ, why don't we start with you?
Just I mean, so real. You know what I mean? Just like just all facts, just straight dropping facts. You know, yeah, pretty nice back and forth.
Felt like the mellow version of what CM Punk was doing on Monday night.
Yeah, I
CM Punk
definitely
came
agree
out
with
with
that.
full guns blazing, just feeling free to call out everybody and anybody that he wanted out of all that whole situation, and just letting all of his anger out. Cody came out on Friday. He was measured in his response. He took his time. He had his thoughts. He got everything out clearly and succinctly and made sure that his targets knew that he was coming for them. No shots missed, no scatter. He's coming right at John Cena. He's looking dead focused at WrestleMania. He is focused on keeping that belt there. Whether or not he's going to be able to, what Cena's going to have up his sleeve there, how he's going to work what he thinks is best for business and try to win that 17th belt, we have yet to see. But Cody's focused in. He's going to be ready for WrestleMania to the best of his abilities.
I mean, honestly, I liked the promo, but it felt very cookie cutter, like very routine response as to where I would have expected Cody to come out after what happened and be fired up like a CM Punk was on Monday Night Raw. Like it seems like he's holding back that emotion instead of letting it be. Like, you should be angry at somebody who was considered you just had somebody that you looked at, he admitted he looked up to, just turn his back on you and join the guy you just told to go fuck himself. And now we
he's
are
also beaten down and
PG-13.
hurt after that. Well, he's literally beaten down and hurt after that. So he's not going to be able to physically come out with the same energy that CM Punk did.
But even in the way the words were delivered, like not until the very end of that promo did I feel like I saw that fire. It wasn't until the end to where you start talking about the family. As soon as you get done with that, I felt like he should have been fired up more, but that's just me. And that's why
got
I
a
feel
crescendo though.
Yeah,
I just feel like to build.
I just feel like it was very cookie cutter. Just in my opinion of it.
I'm thinking we've got 6 weeks of build left to go. There's plenty of emotion left to come out. You got to start at this low level. If you start up here, then you're going to get up here way too fast. You got to start a little bit down here and just kind of over the next few weeks, you build it up with that anticipation and you get it up to where it needs to be.
I mean, like I said, I just felt like it was very cookie cutter and whatever. The promo worked. It was fine. That's just my opinion. It felt very cookie cutter until the very end. And even then it was, as you said, it's like he knows what his destination is. He knows who his opponent is. And now because The Rock's involved with it, he knows what to expect because he just went through this a year ago in pursuit of the championship. And by the time we get to WrestleMania, he's going to be just over a year as champion.
Yeah.
A year and a couple weeks.
Yep.
So there's a lot of that there, I guess, to consider as well. But I get that there's build there. I just expected a bit more emotion throughout the promo than just at the very end, which is why it felt kind of cookie cutterish to me.
I also feel like we had a huge emotion dump on Saturday at the Elimination Chamber in that whole segment at the end. So we need a reset point for it. You can't come back out and have all this emotion already just pouring out right there because you had that big moment at Elimination Chamber. You need a reset after that. So you got to bring the volume back down, make it nice and soft again. So that you get that
I guess
loud.
And I'm not going to say it doesn't fit Cody of trying to stay the face of the company, right? Because that's what he is. He's the guy doing all the media rounds. He's the guy doing all this other stuff. So I get it. I just wish we would have seen a little bit more. Had not like fully turned up, but just a little bit more. Because I feel like if that happened to me, it would be hard for me to hold that anger back. I would just like to. I just would have wanted to see it a little bit more throughout the promo. That's all.
Cody's just internalizing it for now. It'll come out. He's just internalizing it for now. Pretty much takes us through WWE unless there was any other honorable mention spots that we have for the week.
I was going to bring up just really quick the Jordynne Grace Cora Jade match that ended, which appeared due to a possible concussion injury because it looked like she's from what I've read in concussion protocol now, which I wonder what that means for her match with Masha. I think it's Sacrifice coming up for TNA.
Yep.
We now have coming up Jordynne Grace and Roxanne instead, which seemed like it was a pivot.
Yeah. So I actually did go back and saw when Cora Jade decided that she couldn't continue the match anymore. I couldn't tell. It looked like it might have been a leg thing. It didn't look like she hit her head at that moment when it happened because she was about to put a move on Jordynne Grace. While they're in commercial, they're in the picture-in-picture. She's about to put the move on Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace pops up a little bit, reverses it, and pushes her into the corner. All of a sudden, Cora Jade just has this look on her face like something's wrong. And Jordynne backs up, ref backs her up into the corner, talking to Cora. Jordynne comes out like, all right, come on, we doing this? Ref goes to her, no, this is real. Stay in the court and just work the crowd, do what you got to do to keep everyone into it while we're in this commercial break. And we got medical out here. Medical comes out, they deal with it. As soon as they come back from commercial break, they announce it that the match is over. Jordynne Grace is the winner. And then we get backstage where we have Roxy attacking Jordynne Grace, and we have that story set up. So do you feel like this is leading to a match before Sacrifice to see who replaces Cora Jade for that NXT title shot?
You could put that stipulation on her. That would be interesting. Have Roxanne somehow cheat to beat Jordynne. And then you send Roxanne over instead of Jordynne Grace, who just came from there, even though it would be a cool match to see again. I just don't think you would want Jordynne. Yeah, I don't think you would want to see Jordynne Grace take a loss so soon after getting to NXT.
Right. Yeah, you don't want that. But I could see Roxy easily going over there and maybe even taking the belt off of Masha for a minute.
That's one thing that I think we're all waiting for is to see what championship jumps ship first. Mm-hmm. And right now, I'm thinking it could be the tag team championships that the Hardys lose to Fraxium, and we have them as double champions.
So, is this a title versus title match between the tag teams?
No, it's only the TNA tag team titles will be on the line at Roadblock.
Okay.
And then just the irony also with the end of Jordynne Grace and Cora Jade was that the next match we see on TV is Trick Williams and Kale Dixon, and the match ends by the referee stopping it like, yo, you just need him in the head. He's knocked out. He cannot continue. Like, oh.
Yeah, for the script on that finish to be what it was is just
that's just ironic.
Yeah.
But out of that, we get Eddie Thorpe challenging Trick Williams whoever it was, for the underground match, and we'll see that in 2 weeks. I'm looking forward to that personally.
Yeah, the underground matches are always fun. Different feel to it, a little more hardcore, the no ropes or anything. That's always fun little extra.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of like Josh Barnett's Bloodsport because it's very shoot wrestling style. Mm-hmm. You can really do a more MMA style type thing with it, which is really fun. But let's see. I'm scrolling through my notes here. We had Seth Rollins and Punk brawling all over on Raw this week. Like, you just can't keep these two apart.
No. We've got that steel cage match coming up, so that's not going to be the end of it. We all know that's not going to be the end of it.
I think Punk wins the steel cage. Personally, I think Punk... because now it's revenge.
Yeah.
CM Punk will beat Rollins. Or somehow Roman will screw one of the two. Will somehow screw Punk out of it, and we could get some type of weird swerve. But I'm just hoping that we somehow, out of all this, get Rollins and Roman one-on-one. Like 10 years in the making, Seth Rollins has never beaten Roman Reigns by pinfall or submission. Any matches he's ever won have been by disqualification or some type of weird finish that was like a referee stoppage or something like that. Like the referee just throws the match out.
So,
But
we'll see how it goes.
If we don't have anything else to real quick preview, I guess next week's WWE stuff. We said Rollins and Punk in the steel cage.
Yep.
Where do I have it? Oh yeah, Jey Uso versus Grayson Waller next week. Ray Jr. and Dragon Lee of the LWO taking on the New Day in a tornado tag on Raw. AJ Styles to call out Logan Paul, which means now it's giving me really that fear of CM Punk will be involved in this Roman Reigns match.
Yeah.
And
if
Rollins.
we don't get Punk versus Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, there's still a lot of time to go. Like, we could have an opponent that could just be showing up. Like, what if it was CM Punk versus Aleister Black?
Yeah.
I think there's some potential in that match.
Sure.
And then NXT next week. Do I have notes for that? What's coming up? No, I do not. I guess they didn't really. Oh, wait. Next week at Roadblock, we were given Roxanne and Jordan Grace. So that got added to that card. That card Roadblock should be pretty good this week.
Yep. That should be a decent card.
And then SmackDown, I think I saw was in Spain next week.
I don't know. Is it Barcelona? Actually, I do remember them saying Barcelona a lot, so that makes sense.
And Pretty Deadly won a number one contenders triple threat match, so
yes,
they
boy.
will be at some point going up the winners of next week's tag team championship match with the Street Profits and DIY. Yeah, there we go. And then also in Spain, we get the return of Randy Orton to the ring going one-on-one with Carmelo Hayes. That should be a good match.
Yeah. And who do we see coming out of that tag team title match this week?
I could see the Street Profits coming out with the championships.
But who do you think is going to win? Do you think the Street Profits, or is that your call?
Yeah, I'll take the Street Profits.
Tag team. BJ, what about you?
Well, yeah, I say DIY.
You're keeping DIY.
Wait,
DIY keeps the belts.
I mean,
DIY versus Street Profits.
I mean, it would make sense because then you do set up Pretty Deadly getting those tag team championship match against them. But then again, you could have them lose it, and then DIY comes out and screws them out of their championship match somehow. Because I think we're going to see some multi-team match at WrestleMania for them championships.
Oh yeah, Fatal 5-Way.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe a TLC. TLC.
I was thinking DIY wins, and then Street Profits come out and screw it. Yeah,
Pretty Deadly.
I'm sorry, I'm not. All of a sudden, I'm not feeling great. Street Profits interfere with Pretty Deadly's title match. Just further set up the Fatal 5-Way or 6-Way. Who knows? By then, we could have someone else involved.
Yeah.
But
how about if BJ's not feeling well, how about we get our matches of the week that we had last week? So,
for BJ, our
match of the week that we had.
Okay.
We got the graphic?
Oh, yeah. Let me bring that up. And now, our match of the week. Brought to you by Eclipse Graphics for all your graphics needs.
BJ, what did you think was the match of the week? What was your highlight?
I'm gonna say the triple threat, machine guns, Pretty Deadly, and what are they called?
Los Garza.
They're called
Garzas.
Los Garza now. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Los Lotharios or Legato or yeah, no, great match, a lot of back and forth. I really enjoyed that match.
DG,
and
how about
huge
you?
implications.
So
Right.
I have 3 that I consider. One being the World Women's Championship match from Monday Night Raw. That was a really good match. Sean Spears and Tony D'Angelo for the North American Championship match. And then from Collision last night, Lee Moriarty and Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship was a really good match. But I think I have to give it to the North American Championship match from the NXT main event this week. As I said earlier, it was very well scripted. Every spot hit what it needed to. And we know it's not over yet, but just the match itself and the ending of his back giving out on him and that just being the end was just a great finish. And for me, that's my match of the week. Chef, what about you?
I'm in agreement with you there, DG. That was also my match of the week. I was watching that on Tuesday night, and I was just a lot of times I'll be on my phone or doing something else, somewhat distracted while I'm watching wrestling. That match had me focused on it. I was watching that one fully, and when Tony fell off of the ring and landed on that thing, like they'd been setting that spot up all night, talking about his back and how injured it was, and they paid it off right there. And as soon as that spot hit and he went to pull off his finisher and just did not have the strength and his back gave out, I literally felt that. Like I as an old man myself, a much older man than Tony D'Angelo is, I have felt that pain when you go to lift something and your back says no and you just fall, and it does not feel good, and you are not doing anything. You are not getting up, let alone kicking out of a pin. And that match set up so much more. Not only did with the Tony D'Angelo versus Sean Spears, but among the whole families, they've got this faction warfare that they can keep going with easily through Stand and Deliver and through until someone gets drafted to the main roster in April or May, whenever the draft comes around again. So there we have it. Then 2 of us have the same match of the week, and BJ, another excellent match for your pick as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And now
honorable mention to Shinsuke versus LA Knight.
LA Knight.
I don't that match was it was good, but there was nothing really exciting about it to me. Like that was the one main event this week to where I just looked at it was like maybe that shouldn't have been the main event and Cody should have closed the show with his promo.
I can see that, but yeah, that's why it only gets an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it's now time to talk about tonight's AEW pay-per-view Revolution, and to start talking about that, we have some. This card is a stacked card. It's a stacked pre-show card. Let's be perfect. Just the pre-show alone has 4 matches: Big Boom, AJ, and the Conglomeration against Johnny TV and the MXM Collection. You have Lee Johnson and Blake Christian taking on Commander and Hologram, who have all of a sudden become a tag team. Can't wait to see the Murder Hawk machines destroy them. We got the Undisputed Kingdom and Daniel Garcia taking on Shane Taylor Promotions, and Chris Jericho defending the Ring of Honor Championship against Gravity on the pre-show.
Yeah. So it's going to be a heck of a card here. We want to get right into that, or do we have anything that we can use for promotion before we get into that? Our predictions.
So SPO this week has their first ever press conference at the Phoenix Bar and Grill in Ashton Township, Pennsylvania, formerly Gatsby's, where there will be some live performances. BJ popping his head over like this. We'll find out who Tay-Rock and Velcro's opponents will be for their first ever tag team match together. We have, as seen, Angel Metro will be on the show, and her opponent that she accepted the challenge for being Ruthie J from the NWA, which I'm looking forward to that match personally. And then Vinny Pacifico will be also at the show, who will be a special guest on the Spokecast tomorrow night for SPO over on Johnny Cashmere's socials or the SPO Facebook page, SPO.com, wherever you watch it.
Get to know Vinny a little bit beforehand.
Yes. And then as Simon Gotch will be returning as well. Very excited about that. And then just announced over the weekend is the Rep will be returning for the silver anniversary, which
What
love this
mayhem will
graphic.
they cause?
Yeah, and I hope whoever they're facing is ready to feel some pain.
Oh,
because that's what they're going to feel. And then everybody's favorite, Homeless Vaughn will be returning.
Oh, I love the biplane.
And keep an eye on SPO socials, because at any time now there should be a new announcement being made.
And don't forget,
Beautiful.
we have a 25-man Rumble at this match, and we don't know
We
who
do.
at all. Who?
Oh, I don't have that
know-
one on here, do I? No.
We know Stoner Bro's going to be in it. But that's
Well, I
about
don't
all.
even know if we know that yet. In
Well,
all
I don't-
honesty.
yeah, we might not even know that for sure. But love me a Rumble. I'll be
Yep.
right there, feet away from people being eliminated. I can't wait.
Last Rumble that we were at the Firehouse had a couple of big guys laying right on my lap. That was fun.
I was on the other side.
Yeah.
I didn't get any action.
Yeah, and then me and Channing Decker kind of get into it after he cashed in on
Yep.
Scorpio after winning said Battle Royal. Why do I feel like I missed one somewheres in here?
I feel like you did too.
Yeah, right.
I can't think of what it is.
Oh, and the Feral Face will be returning. That's it.
Missed the feral face.
The devil of
Yeah,
this
right.
place, Feral Face.
Lovely.
Possibly taking on another one of my favorites, Pat Dynamite.
Pat is
Possibly.
owed that. He's got that number one contendership in his pocket. He's owed that match. So
I mean, I don't
It's
think
about
he's
time.
officially number one contender yet. I don't think so. I don't think there is a clear-cut number one contender now.
Didn't he have
I'm
that?
just
He had
saying,
that
we
match
don't know
against Sonny
who's in
Kiss
line.
for the number one contendership way back in what was it, July?
Yeah, and then he got his championship match at Roll the Dice.
But kind
You
of got
were
screwed
there.
out of that. Kind of got screwed out of
Really?
that.
He didn't get screwed. He just threw everything at Face he could, and just Face is just that tough.
Yeah.
Like he did nothing wrong in that match and still, do everything right and still lose. That's just how tough Face is as a champion. And then you fast forward, that kind of changes, but
Yeah. So
wait, I do have, hold on. But yeah, AEW, would you like to start predicting some of these?
yeah, let's start some predictions. What is the first match that we got there on 0 Hour?
We'll start with Big Boom, AJ, and the Conglomeration, Mark Briscoe and Orange Cassidy versus Johnny TV and the MXM Collection. And then here's the face graphic. Real quick. There you
Leaving
go.
bodies on the floor.
So, who do you guys have for this?
This one seems like a layup. This is going to be the face team winning it. It's the curtain jerker. It's the feel good start of the show. it's the no-brainer.
I feel like it might be the last match going into the pay-per-view, personally.
Okay.
But just in the placement of the pre-show. But I agree, AJ and the conglomeration over these guys. They're just there to get people watching and to buy the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the buy-in
They're
portion.
never going to book Big Boom AJ to lose.
No
You know?
reason to book him to lose. He's there to go over.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, 100%.
And Johnny TV, they only book Johnny TV to lose. So,
Which is very sad. It makes me sad.
I mean, it makes me sad.
oh,
but,
he's a legend. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, at least he's getting paid for it.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh yeah,
pay me. See you next time.
Yeah.
exactly.
And then,
Job Squad.
so I guess we're all in agreement on that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the next match we have for the pre-show, Lee Johnson and Blake Christian, who I think Blake Christian, if anybody watches GCW, will know who he is.
I've
Going up
actually seen him
again.
live.
Oh, nice.
I saw
Going
him
up.
take on Cardona.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you saw him take on Mr. Green.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Chelsea wasn't there though. Or, yeah, no, she was. Anyway.
So and then they're taking on Commander and Hologram. Commander and Hologram, he's undefeated still, you know. Like, I feel like no matter what match they put him in at the moment, it's just like, yeah, that's how this is working out.
Yeah, this is another one of those teams that they're not throwing them together to have them lose. Commander and Hologram, yeah, that's an easy one to pick for the win. Especially when it's a couple of guys who aren't regulars in AEW.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Begs the question: when is Hologram going to finally lose? Are they just going to Goldberg this thing or what?
Oh, but who knows? Like it's nuts right now with some of that stuff. But hey, it is what it is, right?
Yep. So, what's the next match on the card there, DG?
Next match, we have the Undisputed Kingdom and Daniel Garcia taking on Shane Taylor Promotions. BJ,
This one's actually interesting.
So who is in Shane Taylor Promotions? I know Shane Taylor
Lee Moriarty,
is a very
the
scary
infantry.
guy.
Lee Moriarty, the infantry, and Shane Taylor.
Okay.
And then there's a chick in the group who's with the infantry as well, and I just can't think of her name off the top of my head.
Yeah, got to go Kingdom here. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen much of either lately. You know, of anyone involved lately, but you know, my gut's telling me Kingdom.
See, I'm actually going to go the opposite way. I think this could be a spot where they surprise you with the booking and they actually give one to Shane Taylor Promotions because, you know, they're a legit group. They are not slouches. You know, the Kingdom, I see why AEW want them to go over in this match, but I could also see reasons for Shane Taylor Promotions to be booked to win this one. As long as I think both teams are going to look strong in this match, and I think it's going to be a decent one, then I'm just going to pick Shane Taylor Promotions. I'm just feeling a little saucy with this one for some reason. I don't know why.
You know, I could see that happening, but I just feel like that the UK and Daniel Garcia, that it's 0 hour. Like, I don't expect anything major, but it could be stepping stones to another feud to build up. And then I'm guessing which will be the main event of 0 hour, possibly. Chris Jericho defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against Gravity. And I'm just saying this, I really don't know much about Gravity, so I'm going Chris Jericho. The only thing I know about Gravity is that it makes me fall.
Yeah. Gravity pulls you in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, I'm gonna go a little saucy here. I'm gonna pick Gravity. I'm gonna think that Jericho's actually gonna put someone over for once, and I think Jericho's gonna lose the belt here, and Gravity's gonna take it, and that it's gonna build him up with this belt through Ring of Honor, and we'll get to learn a little bit more about him as Ring of Honor champion.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, he doesn't really feel like a one and done. I see what you're saying, but yeah, no, I'm gonna go Jericho here.
Yeah. All right. I was trying to get something queued up to take a quick break before going into the main card, but it just is telling me that it's processing.
Boo processors.
Oh, hey, look, there it is. It stopped processing. Enhance.
Process has been processed.
All right, so before getting into the main card, which to give everybody a little bit of time, our first match we will talk about will be the steel cage match between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. Right after this video, that is highlights from the dumpster match at SPO Key to the City.
Come on, Braun.
We are back. What a match! That was a fun match to be at. Just watch
yes,
Vaughn
it
pick up his first singles win. Good on him.
And now, let's get talking about this main card for tonight.
Let's.
Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, and this has actually been one of my more top things with AEW right now that I've enjoyed is this feud between them, especially given their history as the United Empire and all that stuff. Chef, who do you have in this match?
I am going with Kyle Fletcher. That Don Callis family factor. I know it's in a steel cage, but the Don Callis family, they are a factor. There is no way to deny that. They are, if they want to get inside that cage, they're going to figure out a way. If they want to get Kyle out of that cage, they're going to figure out a way. They are going to figure out a way to just keep Ospreay down in this match and not let him get the win. Kyle Fletcher's walking out of there as the victor.
All right, BJ, who you got?
I agree with the logic, Chef. Steel cage match with a heel that's a member of a faction screams of heel win. Ospreay's the best in the world, probably. But he's outnumbered even inside the cage.
So I do believe the last time these two had a one-on-one match, Kyle Fletcher's won, and he's had the upper hand on Will Ospreay the entire time. So I feel like this whole thing is for Will Ospreay to win. and Will Ospreay, who I also do consider the number one wrestler in the world right now, you know, and maybe 1A to Zack Sabre Jr. I think Will Ospreay wins this. I think he needs to win much more right now than Kyle Fletcher does.
Yeah.
So I go Will Ospreay.
I don't disagree that he needs
All right.
to win more, but is that going to be enough? That's my question.
I mean, I can also see this feud continuing. Even though it's a cage match and it feels like a blow up, I could see them having one more match on one of the bigger like TV Dynamites or something like that. You know, when they theme out, have like a whole month of themed shows. That's one of the matches that we could swing back around to at some point.
Sure thing.
And the next match, MJF and Hangman Adam Page. Boy, I'm more invested in this than I would have been MJF and Jeff Jarrett. I'm saying that much right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Because these are two guys that have essentially both been heels. And as I said earlier, both get consistently cheered.
Yeah. Yep. So Hangman definitely walks that tweener line more than MJF does.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I was just talking about fan reaction in the general purpose.
Yeah.
Because if we go up
agree.
to before this feud, we see what he did to Swerve with the burning down his childhood home and how much that feud this made him much meaner and also elevated Swerve at the same time. Like it put both of them into a different light to where I think it's more fans acknowledge and have the respect for the work. Like I would say about MJF, that's the reason he gets cheered, because we know how good he is and how good he could be 5 years from now.
Oh yeah, definitely. So,
WWE champion in 5 years.
But I think MJF wins this.
Yeah.
What's your reasoning behind that there?
Because he's Maxwell Jacob Freeman. That's why he'll do whatever it takes to win. I mean, so will Page, but MJF is 99.9% of the time 3 steps ahead of his opponent. He showed that this past week on Dynamite with Page chasing him, calling him out, and then chasing him through the arena to just have a stunt double there to take the initial hit and then him jumping Page from behind. How much I would like to see Adam Page win this, I think he gets the typical baby face screw job type deal.
See, I feel like, Page is angry. And when Page is angry is when he gets dangerous, because he knows how to focus his anger and put it on target. And when Page's anger is on target, it is a deadly weapon. I think Page is ready to harness that anger and focus it all on MJF tonight. And I think Page is coming out of there with the victory.
I'm just going to say that I
bring it, but I think Page is just going to be laser focused and beyond. And Page is just not going to relent. And we've seen what happens when Page doesn't know how to quit.
And I'm just going to say this isn't the first time MJF has been in this situation in a heated feud.
No, it's not.
And so I think that, I mean, I could see Page winning, but I think MJF somehow cheats to pull it out.
And BJ, what's the tiebreaker, buddy?
This is a tough one. I think it's going to be MJF. He's better than you.
And you know it.
And you know
I
it.
guess I know it.
MJF all the way. Agreed with everything said about Page. But MJF pulls it off somehow.
All right.
In
2-1 for
probably
MJF.
in a screwy fashion.
So then the next match to talk about, which has been, as we were just talking about Swerve, which has been a very interesting feud since his debut, Ricochet and Swerve Strickland. And the winner of this match will become the #1 contender to the AEW Championship. and will probably at some point face the winner of Mox and Cope.
There's another stipulation on this match too. Either win Nana's jacket back or Nana is gone. So
Which is very interesting. So I have Swerve picked to win this. But in the back of my head at the same time, which is because I think Swerve deserves the title shot more than Ricochet, but I could see Nana turning on Swerve at some point during this. I feel like they've been slowly setting it up with Ricochet taking the robe and some of the stuff they had in their interaction 2 weeks ago and with their promo back and forth. You know, there were some very fine points made in that. So I think those seeds are being planted. If not this show, soon.
You kind of took my points that I was going. I am picking Ricochet for a lot of those points that you just made there. I think this Nana situation. I think maybe Ricochet didn't take the coat so much as he might have been given it by Nana just as a little test for Swerve. If Swerve can't get it back, then why am I even bothering with you anymore? And I'm going to go with Ricochet. So I think Nana's planted this whole thing. We forget Nana's a devious little dude. we forget his history.
100%.
He's been so popular so long now, just doing his little Swerve dance. We forget about his mind. Yeah, I think this could be a little swerve by Nana. So, and he has planned this whole thing the entire time. And I think Nana does screw over Swerve in this match, and Ricochet gets the win, and Nana goes off with Ricochet.
That I would look forward, because then I think there's one more match somehow, somewhere down the line. Because this would be this is their second match in AEW, right? This would be the second time so it would almost make sense for Swerve to win this, and yet still maybe have the Nana turn happen after the match. But we'll see.
It makes more sense with Ricochet winning.
Oh, it absolutely does. But
once again, BJ, you're the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ricochet. I feel like they're building toward a heel number one contender versus a face champion. We'll get to that. But yeah, I think it's gonna be Ricochet, and Nana, I do see the turn happening and Nana being involved in the finish in some way.
All right. And
who won Ricochet?
I mean, we will see. Either way,
we will see.
I just think that if there's going to be one more match out of this, you kind of need Swerve to at least win this one. So maybe you stretch the turn out, and then the turn happens in the rubber band match. But either way, I definitely see the Nana turn coming. They've been together for a while, and he's another one of those managers who's usually a heel manager and not a face manager.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The next match, Mercedes Moné defending her TBS championship. See if I get this right, against Momo Watanabe.
Hi.
Good job.
So, BJ, who do you got on this one?
Mercedes wins, LOL.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to agree that the CE no wins.
Clean sweep there.
Yeah, it's almost getting to Charlotte levels at this point.
Yeah,
especially in AEW. That's Tony Khan's favorite action figure.
It's not even that she's holding other women down at this point. It's just that they're not giving her anyone legitimate to face. I mean, Harley Cameron. That was a fun match. It would have been awesome to see her win it in Australia. We all knew that wasn't going to happen.
We all wanted it to happen, though.
We all wanted it to happen. We all knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So, they're not giving Mercedes any credible threats at the moment. So until they do, she's winning. Period.
Yeah, I agree. So that's a clean sweep there.
Yep.
This next one I'm kind of torn on. And that is for the AEW World Tag Team Championships with the Hurt Syndicate defending against the Outrunners. Chef, you go first.
The only reason you're torn is because the Outrunners are awesome. They are an awesome tag team. They are so much fun to watch.
Should have
But
worn
this
their
is the
shirt
Hurt
instead of my
Syndicate.
AJ one.
and the Outrunners haven't really done much yet. You
No,
know
they
what I
haven't.
mean?
But yeah, and to my point, now this is the Hurt Syndicate. This is Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin that we're talking about here. These guys are veterans. They hurt people. They're going to hurt people again tonight. I'm sorry to the Outrunners, but you're not winning these belts. The Hurt Syndicate, no question.
Would it be too soon to maybe see Cedric Alexander show up?
Yes.
Has it been 90 days?
It's still inside the
No.
90 day.
Well, he's
Okay.
still in that 90-day bubble.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Because that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, unfortunately,
yeah.
I have the Hurt Syndicate, but I think the Outrunners will look fantastic in this match. And I'm hoping that, it's a stepping stone to the next thing.
Yes.
That's what I'm hoping for. And because they're an excellent team, they're highly entertaining. And this is just to get them positioned up to that point. As long as they look legit against the Hurt Syndicate and don't get squashed. That would be my fear in it. But it seems like those teams have avoided going after each other, and it's kind of a respecting on TV. Like, you had them come out last night during Collision and try to mess with their heads, get their heads out of that match, and they stayed on point and finished that match out. So, I think
it's business for the Hurt Syndicate. They hurt people.
They hurt
it's
people.
Business, but it's business. They it's nothing personal with the Outrunners. But they have to hurt them in the ring because they're trying to take the belts.
All right. So another clean sweep here for the Hurt Syndicate, it looks like, from us, if we had the pencils.
Yes, sir.
Now, what will the Hollywood ending be for the AEW Women's World Championship with Timeless Toni Storm defending against Mariah May?
Timeless versus Glamour.
Yeah.
This match has been building up in the most spectacular way. This is probably the match I'm looking forward to most on this card, just because of the buildup that we've had for it for so long. Both of these women, they just have such great chemistry together in and out of the ring that you can't help but be drawn to this match as probably there's a better than average chance that this is going to be match of the night. And I think that this is one's really tough to pick because both of them know each other so well. They both studied each other and portrayed each other. So,
they are very evenly matched.
Yeah, very evenly matched, but I feel like Mariah May comes out just ahead, comes out just on top here, and takes that belt off of Timeless Toni Storm in a shocker. I'm calling it.
Oh, interesting. BJ, who you got here?
I'm going to have to agree and say Mariah May. I don't know how it's going to unfold, but it is a Falls Count Anywhere match. So where could you possibly see them taking it?
Oof, they could take it backstage, take it
That's
down
what I'm saying.
Around.
The makeup room, maybe?
Yeah, a makeup room would be fun.
I mean, I could see this match not even making it to start in the ring, and they just start on the ramp. Like with the spotlight on them during Toni Storm's entrance, when you have that spotlight, and then it starts right there. Like,
it would be great if it started that way, and then throughout the show they just kept going back to it.
No, I would try
in the ring at the end of the show.
So what you do is you keep it in the arena, you darken the arena, and you just have spotlights on them the entire time where they're fighting.
I like that. I like just follow with the spotlight.
Yeah,
that's nice. I like that.
Yeah,
but
so
for
we've got
me,
two for Mariah May. What about you, DJ?
Timeless Tony Storm. 100%. I don't see this
Fuck.
going in. Why, man? Why do you gotta do this to me, man? Why? Why?
There it is.
Why? But yeah, I'm going with Tony Storm here. Would I be the anti-mark in the situation here? Because both y'all picked Mariah May.
No, not really.
But yeah, definitely. But yeah, Timeless Tony Storm, I think, retains. I think that we move away from this feud for a bit, maybe revisit it at some point down the line. Let's get some of these other women elevated up to this next level now, because the top of the women's card is very slacking at the moment, especially considering you have Mercedes in the mid card.
Yeah.
You don't even have her competing at the top, which thankfully that's the case. But I'm just saying that's going to be your favorite action
mid-card
figure.
belts and other belts. She's got belts from other federations and the mid-card belt. She's got no room for the top of the card belt.
Yeah, so
She can't lift that much.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised she can even carry all those belts around. To be perfectly honest,
She's gonna have to put one like around her neck, so it's like hanging in front of her face next.
yeah. And our next match for the AEW International Championship, Konosuke Takeshita takes on Kenny Omega. Yeah, I said Kenny Mega. In another timeline, it's Kenny Mega. Or Mega Kenny.
Kenneth Mega.
But yeah, Takeshita defends against Omega. I think Kenny Omega captures the International Championship here. And we kind of see this feud maybe continue a little bit more. Just full circle it. Takeshita beat him twice in a row in a single week. You know, Kenny finally gets that revenge back, and maybe there's a rematch on Dynamite, and he does it to him. Back-to-back wins. But yeah, Kenny Omega, I think we have a new international champion.
I see your train of thought there. However, again, Don Callis family.
Yeah, I think
there's not even a steel cage here this time.
I think something will happen to Don Callis during that cage match from Will Ospreay. Like something could.
You think Callis is going to get taken out?
We don't.
You think Kenny gives him a scar on his head this time?
Oh, on the other side?
Yeah.
Matching scars for you, Don. Hey, now look. You actually look like a jackal.
All right, so
I hope somebody got that reference that's not in this.
So I'm going with the Don Callis family factor, and I'm picking Takeshita to win this one. Same reasoning as I did with the Kyle Fletcher match.
I will say something. I do also for the cage match, to go back real quick. Just thinking about it, I also expect to see Mark Davis possibly get involved in that match somehow.
Yeah.
And I think he could be an evening out factor, and he turns his back on the Callis family after just joining them. Especially after the win.
He joined under duress.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know, and we saw it this week, so I think he's somehow going to play into one or both of these matches.
Well, we also saw Kyle Fletcher have his moment of, like, do I stay with the Callis family? Do I not? And Callis put his hooks in and brought him back. And so
yeah,
maybe Callis has done that with Mark Davis already. Maybe that's.
I don't think so.
He's fully bought in now. We won't know until we see.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't think so.
All right, so we've got one Omega, we've got one Takeshita. BJ, what do you got?
This is a really tough one. It's very even. I think Omega pulls it off.
Okay.
Kenneth Mega, I think. I think wins the title here.
All right.
But
I wouldn't be mad if it happened.
Actually, you know what? No. Scratch that. Clean sweep for the Callis family tonight. Takeshita pulls it off by underhanded means.
Oh no!
So you're on my. You talked yourself into my side.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
That seems like a very Kenny Omega way to lose in a match like this.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. At this point, I just feel like after everything that's happened, the Callis family will win one of these matches, most likely the cage match, because I think we start seeing a bit of a shifting in the guard at certain circumstances. Like Takeshita's held that international title for a while. He's been a great champion, but Kenny's back. Put the title on him for a little bit. You could always give it back to Takeshita at some point down the line. Nothing wrong with that. But I think this is something to say. It's kind of like a welcome home type thing for Omega now. Like, he needs this. That's how I feel about it. Like, I've seen from the promos, like, he needs to win this to justify even being back in that ring. And if that's the Kenny Omega we're getting, that's the same Kenny Omega in New Japan that at one point was the number 1 ranked wrestler in the world. Even during the height of the Tribal Chief.
Yeah. So now you have picked both matches against the Callis family.
Yes.
I've picked both matches for the Callis family. If you had to pick one match to go for the Callis family and one match to go against the Callis family, you have to pick one of each. Which would you say would go which direction?
I would do the cage match then for Kyle Fletcher, and Kenny gets the international championship.
See, I'd go the opposite direction. I would think that Ospreay would win the cage match and Takeshita would keep the belt. That would be how I would see it if you had to have one-on-one split with the Callis family.
The reason I would do it the other way is because of that thinking right there, because everybody else would think it would be the championship to be held on to, and for Kyle Fletcher to lose, to where Kyle Fletcher, hey, him picking up that win would be big for him. It would be huge. A cage match win over Will Ospreay would be huge. Don't get that
What's
wrong.
more important to Don Callis, keeping the gold or Kyle Fletcher getting a win over Will?
They should both be important to him because
They
he's trying
should,
to elevate.
but
Because he's trying to
only put his
elevate.
focus onto one, though. I think he'd put it onto that championship.
No, I agree with you. Actually, I do agree with you on that, but not because of the championship, because of Kenny Omega. Because if anybody knows how dangerous a focus Kenny Omega is, it's Don Callis.
Yes. Yep.
Can you guys hear my tablet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Real quick, moving on to next.
We only got a couple matches left.
Yeah,
and then
for the
actually
AEW
0 hours starting, so
yes,
we should get through this real quick.
Okada defending the Continental Championship against Brody King. You guys start. I will be right back.
I feel like, this one, Brody King, he's a big dude, but Okada, he's the best bout machine for a reason. Yeah, he's keeping that belt.
Yeah. And Brody, honestly, like, I don't feel like it's their time that they're trying to push him at this point. I don't think they're trying to put gold on him right now. He's kind of in limbo at this point. Like, he's kind of not in limbo, but he's into something new.
Yeah, they're rebuilding the House of Black. They're calling it whatever they're calling it now. So the rebuilt House of Black is.
It's going to be a great match.
Oh yeah, it'll be a good match because King's no slouch, but he's no Okada.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hellhounds now they're called, right?
Hellhounds, okay, yeah, Hounds of Hell.
I actually, who did you guys pick?
We both picked Okada.
I'm going Brody King.
Okay.
I think
maybe set up the stable a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Okada has held that championship for a while now. He successfully defended it in the tournament. So
and we haven't seen the Young Bucks in a while. Where have they been?
Oh, we could. The rumor has it they could be returning at some point. Because apparently they are gearing up for their return at some point. So.
What if they return tonight and help Okada keep the belt?
I can see that. I can honestly see that. But I want to see Brody King have a little bit something to do at the moment, and him holding that championship would be a pretty big deal. And you're going from one guy to a bigger monster guy, because Okada's no slouch.
Right.
Right.
What if hypothetical. Young Bucks come back. They help Okada hold the belts. Sets up the program between the Hounds of Hell and the Young Bucks with the tag team.
I like it.
All about it.
Cool.
I like that. That would be
Gives
interesting.
them a reason.
But this the one thing that we gotta keep in our minds with that is that there's only 2 members of the Hellhounds, or the Hounds of Hell.
Yeah.
For the male perspective, the
Right. So yeah,
third
you don't have
members,
to worry about
Julia
Okada's got his own thing to defend the belt with. You just have the tag teams worrying about each other, and Julia Hart manages the Hounds of Hell. So
I mean,
that's fine.
that would
No
even
problem
be
with that.
interesting.
Or-
What if it's Okada that brings the Bucks back because he gets beat by Brody King?
Possible.
You know,
too.
like, hey, you guys left me here alone. You guys went back to Japan to go do your own thing, you know, and I kind of need you here now because look, I'm going up against this monster.
yeah.
Also, we could see the Hounds of Hell pick up another member.
Who would you place as
Judgment
that?
Day?
I hadn't thought that far ahead, but
Off
there
the
are
top-
a bunch of recent WWE releases that would work.
Oh, I don't know.
Is anyone outside the 90-day window yet, though?
No, I don't think so.
So there
Well,
you go.
some, but I don't
No,
know.
yeah,
What?
not yet. So,
Maybe
all right, so yeah, that's
a
my
Baron
call.
Corbin type.
Okada keeps the belt, and hey, I like the idea that the Young Bucks come back tonight and they interfere with the match, and that costs Brody King the belt, and that leads into this program with those 2 tag teams. I like that. Of course, I just came up with it, so I like it.
What do we got? What do we got?
All right, we just got this
I
one
think-
final
Yeah,
match.
we have
main
one
event.
more. Yes, our main event. Now, this has been an interesting story only from half of it. But Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Championship against Cope. And honestly, I have Cope winning this. I think it's time to take that title off of him. I want to see this championship before I forget that AEW actually has a world championship. And that the TNT title isn't the top title.
Same, but for different reasons.
I mean, I have plenty of reasons why. I'm just being a bit nicer about it, I guess, at this point.
The they're not the Blackpool Combat Club anymore. What are they?
Death Riders.
The Death Riders are falling apart.
They are.
We saw on Dynamite at the end of Yuta versus Cope.
Mhm.
That was a kind of a rough interaction there. I feel like, I feel like they're falling apart, and this might be what finally, what does it.
I want to say Cope. I really do, but I'm saying Mox. And
I don't think either one of them leaves the pay-per-view as champion, though.
Why not?
Oh, who haven't we seen?
Cash-in.
We haven't seen Christian in about 3-4 weeks.
Oh, yeah, he's got that.
And
stupid
if
champion-
Cope
so
if Cope
if
wins
Cope
the
wins and he's
championship,
beat up, then yeah, that sets up perfectly for Christian to come in with that contract and leave with the belt.
And then that
I
feud
had not
going
even
forward.
thought of that angle. You know what? I'm changing my vote. I'm voting for the storyline.
go
Cope
storyline.
Cope wins, but Christian leaves with the belt afterwards. That's my vote.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. But yeah, this looks like it could. And
What
it's
I was
one thing
originally going to vote for Mox because, the Death Riders are in shambles for the moment, but for some reason they always kind of just pull it back together somehow, and we're still stuck with them. So, I'm not sure Tony Khan's over it yet, and I think we're still going to be in for more punishment.
Or Mox wins, Christian cashes in, Edge and Christian, and Edge helps him. Edge and Christian team up.
No, because then you're turning Cope
No.
heel. and I don't think he
I'm
fits
just
the
kidding.
patriarchy.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
But I would love
I
to
just
see
something,
that.
a part of me wants to see Edge and Christian together again.
Yeah. Oh, no, I absolutely do as well. Do not get that wrong. You just have to get there, and they've given
Bring
us no
Gangrel.
sim. Oh boy,
Yeah.
yeah. Good luck. Good luck with that.
No, they both
got
told
a
each other to
photo,
go
but-
rock themselves. So
But
Well,
yeah,
fair
that is
enough,
the
but,
full
you know,
card
part
for
of me wants to see
AEW.
that.
the card. All right, predictions done.
W
Time to
show
go
tonight.
watch some 0 Hour before the main card starts.
Yeah, we're 10 minutes into the pre-show. What was it
Yep.
starting
I
at
mean, I
6:30?
would
I'm gonna
tell
be
you
starting
what
late and
is
fast forwarding
going
through
on,
the talking
but
stuff.
but my tablet won't turn all the way down through the app, so it leaves it just loud enough to hear. And when I asked if you could hear my tablet earlier, I tossed it on my bed on the other side of the room.
Like you could
Damn
hear
this
it, but you couldn't
microphone.
hear what it was saying. It was just like
Yeah, you just heard.
Like
Yeah,
you
well,
could tell
I
it
don't.
was a wrestling broadcast.
All right, gentlemen. Let's ring the bell and get out of here.
So I may
Ding,
or
ding.
may not be here next week.
Okay.
Anybody that knows why. I'm just kind of not throwing that all online,
Understood.
so I don't want to leave my full private life on the internet, Maybe I'll mention it next week if I'm able to pop in at some point. But looking forward to some good wrestling tonight, some good wrestling throughout the week. Are you over here playing Thumb Wars with the Invisible Man? Tag
Sure.
Team Thumb Wars? Shiki!
Iron Shiki baby is not happy with where your thumb is.
Jabroni.
It's not. It's in the back. It's not anywhere.
Dude, that's a big hole in his back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, censored myself. I had a very quick comeback to that, but. Ugh.
But yes,
Alright.
everybody, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe down at the bottom. And we will see you all next week for another episode. BJ and DG Talk Wrestling. Now hit the outro, guy.
Okay.
Oh, whoops.
I
Oh,
got
that's
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder. Matthew Oman. We are all fight, no flight, primal fear. And you're watching BJ and DG Talk Wrestling. Yeah!